This is the kind of guitar that if somebody walked up to a slot machine that was labeled like Jeremy's perfect guitar slot machine, and they spin it, it would come up with this guitar. I get to scratch a thing off my bucket list. I bought a Martin custom shop, and boy, is it a doozy. This is my first custom shop. Now, let me tell you, pretty much every night I go to sleep, I dream about finding obscene, cool, ridiculous old Martins. New Martins, custom shops. Martin guitars still, they are the thing, they are the beat of my heart. This is the first custom shop Martin I've ever had, and it's weird, and you need to see it. Before we do, make sure you subscribe. I'm Jeremy. I'm the Guitar Hunter. I chase amazing, cool guitars, and I bring you along when I do so that you become a guitar hunter who's able to fill the world with music and friendship, because I think that when people get the right guitars in their lap, it becomes a human thing. Like, you are a better person. You're a more full person when you are creating music and making friends around you. So that's what this channel is about. Make sure you're subscribed. Let's get into the weirdest custom shop you have never seen before. Custom shop Martin. This guitar was offered to me on trade against my Wright Lutherie Jumbo. It's a maple jumbo, round shoulder, lightly built. There's another video about that, but this is a custom shop Martin from 2014. Now, the build sheet on this guitar shows the story of this guitar being a really unusual combination of tone woods, materials, features. This is a guitar unlike anything that I would even go as far as to say this is more unusual than any other guitar. They've probably never made another guitar with this set of features. At the top of the unusual list of features for this guitar is a cedar top. Martins don't typically do cedar tops. This is a beautiful two-piece top, offset with a beautiful iridescent abalone rosette in the center. It is bound front and back with black 3-layer binding that is just simply beautiful and brings great contrast against a western cedar. Now, the back and sides continue to be unusual choices in being claro walnut. The back and sides of this guitar are beautiful and textured, and they have deep movement and waves in the grain of the walnut. This produces a guitar that is bright and balanced, but still warm and articulate, and everything you would hope for in a 000 size guitar. Other features that are really interesting about this guitar are the traditional Martin style headstock paired with the ultra traditional logo on the back of the headstock and the very square slots. What is amazing about this set of features is that this shows someone is deeply aware of the tradition and the heritage of a company that has almost 200 100 years old. The slot headstock and the gold tuners bring great attention to the wider nut width that this guitar has. This is 1 inch and 13/16 neck width, which is a very wide neck. It is much wider than 1 inch and 3/4, but as you can hear and as you can see me play this guitar, it is a boundless, wonderful guitar that is very easy to play, and there is plenty of room to be very articulate in your delivery and your performance on this guitar. I had to do something cinematic. It's just such a beautiful guitar, and I just had to break out my slider, and I had to do these beautiful shots and think about the lighting and think about the contrast and just feature this guitar for all of its beauty that it is, because this guitar is absolutely weird and unusual and very, very different than you would have in other guitars. I've never seen another guitar like this. Now, some of this guitar, I have good news, I have bad news. Let's start with the bad news. Why would you start with the good news? The bad news for me is that I'm not going to keep this guitar. This guitar is going to go back to the owner. Now, there is a chance, because we're still talking about it as I'm filming this video, there's a chance I think I might be able to sell this guitar for the owner rather than send it back to him, because I think he's ready to move it. But I pulled out the Wright Lutherie J45 or the Maple Jumbo, and it's just too good of a guitar. I can't get rid of it. I just adore that guitar, and I can't part with it. It is wonderful. And this guitar is just too quirky and too strange. This guitar is like when someone takes you to a buffet and you're not really that hungry, and you're thinking about what you should get if you were hungry. So you kind of wander through, you're like, I don't know, like, I guess I should probably eat some vegetables. And so you get something like a safe choice. And then you're like, well, maybe some spicy hot wings, or maybe some, let's do some chocolate mousse down here at the end. And so you just get a weird choice. It doesn't really have a thread or a theme. It's not really a meal. It's just kind of grab bag, and it feels like there was just a lot of pressure. Now, I don't mean to downplay the choices that were made to this guitar, and I don't mean to say anything about the person that ordered this guitar, because in the end, you've heard, this guitar is amazing. But it does have a bit of an identity crisis. It's deeply, deeply traditional in a couple really specific ways. The body shape, the 000 size, the 12 fret, the slotted headstock, the really wide nut width, the square slots, the logo on the back of the headstock. It is deeply, deeply traditional in some really important ways. But also, it is very, very modern. Unlike most Martins, what gets me, the cedar top, is an unusual choice. I can't think of many other I can't think of other Martins, like maybe some of the 16 series, but I haven't seen many Martins with cedar tops. And then cedar, and it's a normal pairing for guitars that are cedar to have an abalone rosette, but it's just a little too much for my taste, for my preference on this guitar, and it plays too hard. It doesn't play well against the super traditional components of this guitar. The abalone rosette. The other thing is they're just tiny little details that may have been missed. For example, the heel cap on the back of the neck is rosewood when everything else is black. So that probably should have been black. And then the other side of this is the gold tuners. The gold tuners, they're an aggressive choice. I mean, gold tuners are always risky for someone to be into them. I mean, it's pretty much saved for a D41, like a J40, a D41, D42, D45. That's the level of guitar that typically gets gold hardware. And then other times it's on like the 16 series when they're trying to like pump up the value, the perceived value of the guitar. So for me, the gold, it is a custom shop. So it's up there with those super expensive guitars. But on this, it's just a little too ornate. I also would think that you would do abalone bridge pins. You could change those easily. So I think I've said enough of the negative sides of this guitar. In the end, the reasons I decided that I'm not going to keep this guitar, one, I have a Wright Lutherie Jumbo that is probably the best sounding acoustic guitar I've had in years. Like, it is genuinely amazing for what it does. And it fits in my collection in a way. Oh boy, I said collection. That means I might want to keep it. Hope my wife doesn't watch this video. But the reality is, that guitar is just, it's so magical, and I can't let it go. I've only had it a couple weeks, so to me, I'm just going to hang on to it. Dream situation is I find a friend who needs a guitar, and I get to give it to them. That's the dream. That is the whole goal of my YouTube channel, that one day I would be able to support my family in such a way that I get to be insanely generous and give people guitars all the time. More on that coming. This is the kind of guitar that if somebody walked up to a slot machine that was labeled like Jeremy's perfect guitar slot machine, and they spin it, it would come up with this guitar. It would come up with cedar top, walnut back and sides, slot headstock, 12 fret, I mean, this guitar would come out. It's really unusual, really cool, and it's pretty much perfect for me and my style and my preference of guitars. But I'm not at the place, I'm not Jeremy the guitar collector. This is how I take care of my family. And so ultimately, I get guitars, I keep them, I make videos, I talk about them, I show them to my friends, and then I find a new home for them. And that's how I take care of my family. That's how, that's how our life works. So yes, this guitar is absolutely down the middle for me. Something I would love, something I would just sit around and play, and I would dream of, and I would stop what I'm doing, and I'd go in the other room and play this guitar and use it to make a soundtrack for my life. That's what great guitars do for me. But this one can't be with me because I have to keep moving stuff. So, with all of that said, the couple things that make this just hard to sell: the abalone rosette, the cedar top, the walnut back and sides, the logo on the back of the headstock instead of the front of the headstock, and the nut width. The inch and 13/16 nut width just makes this guitar too difficult. It feels like a classical guitar. It's beautiful for a fingerstyle player, but it's very wide, and I think a lot of people, it would be a hang-up. So, in the end, this guitar is just a little too tricky for me to keep and sell, a little too risky to be too hard to find a home, and unfortunately, I just need to have stuff that I can turn pretty quickly. So, anyway, thanks for watching this video. I'm Jeremy. I'm the Guitar Hunter. This is my first Martin custom shop, and I hope that it is not my last. If I would get another one, ooh, you tell me. What do you think that I would get if I would order a custom guitar? What do you think I would do? Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Also, how cool is this microphone? This is a Lauten Audio 357. This is an amazing big diaphragm condenser. I love this. Thanks to Sweetwater. You're going to see more of this in other videos. We're going to make a video here soon called Microphones Lie to You, because they do. I don't sound this good, and through editing, I don't sound this smart. See ya.